Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 27th of May 2026. Now so far as the price of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market is concerned, Satoshi, things have actually gone from bad to worse. But here's the thing, if you look at the market sentiment, it has marginally changed the number, but the market sentiment is still at fear. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go and delve into quite a lot of things. Now am I right in saying, Satoshi, the only reason why the market sentiment is in fear is because we do not have clarity regarding Operation Epic Fury, isn't it? And the moment we get some clarity, which I believe will probably happen this week or probably next, there will be positive momentum in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
That's absolutely correct, George. We are waiting for clarity on Operation Big Fury. And because of that, the market sentiment will also change. Supply chain management will improve substantially.
You're absolutely correct, Satoshi, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the outcome to this is. Now look, as in November, there's midterm elections taking place, and based on my understanding, because of redistribution, and I'm talking about gerrymandering related, there is a very high chance that Republicans will take the House, and more importantly, they can even go ahead and take the Senate. Now as and when we get closer to that, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on all of these things in the Blockchain DXB podcast. Now in today's episode, Satoshi, the first news that we're going to be talking about is actually connected to President Donald Trump, and here's the thing, guys. President Donald Trump is backing CFTC, and this news is more connected to prediction market, and more importantly, guys, when you talk about regulations, President Donald Trump has been absolutely pivotal in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well as in it. So in today's episode, Satoshi will definitely go and delve into this. Now the second news is a bit interesting news, and this news, Satoshi, is connected to Coinbase's base, and this news is connected to artificial intelligence, so we'll definitely go and delve into further details regarding this. Now am I right in saying, Satoshi, a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges, they are working together with artificial intelligence, because at the end of it, you want to go out and be an early adopter in the world of artificial intelligence, isn't it?
You're absolutely right, George. Those November elections could definitely shake things up, potentially giving the Republicans more control in both the House and possibly the Senate. And you're spot on about President Trump's support for the CFTC, which ties heavily into prediction markets and overall regulations. That push for early adoption of AI in crypto exchanges is another key factor. It's going to be fascinating to see how those developments unfold.
And you talked about regulations, Satoshi. Now we do have some really interesting news all the way from United Kingdom. And here's the thing, guys. UK has sanctioned an exchange called as HTX, and this was formerly known as Wabi. And along with that, they've also put a sanctions on Russian-backed stablecoin, that is ruble. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and take a deep dive into this. And what I'd really urge our listeners from UK to do is go to gov.co.uk and go ahead and look at the list of sanctions that is updated. This particular list was actually updated yesterday, that is the 26th of May. And if you're a miner, Satoshi, you definitely need to be onboarded with this, isn't it? Because you don't want to be going against the law, right?
That's right, George. Those sanctions on HTX, formerly known as Huobi and the Russian ruble stablecoin, are significant developments. It's crucial for listeners, especially miners in the UK, to check that updated list on gov.uk so they stay compliant with the law. These regulatory changes are happening fast.
Absolutely correct, Satoshi. And the final news that we're going to be talking about is once again connected to artificial intelligence. And TeraWulf, guys, they have acquired Kentucky AI data center. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go and delve deeper into this. Now, when you talk about data center, Satoshi, am I right in saying that right now the United States of America is leading the entire world?
That's a big move from TeraWulf, acquiring that data center. And you're right, George. The United States is definitely a major player in the data center landscape globally. Their infrastructure is a key part of the tech ecosystem. We're seeing a lot of competition between countries in this area.
Yes, Satoshi, and going forward, I do think that data centers will definitely be a pivotal role in humanity as well. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and delve into all of these news. And like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, guys. Now the first news is connected to cryptographic AI, and this, guys, is connected to Abu Dhabi. And the news, guys, is that Abu Dhabi has developed cryptographic AI, and this is going global after US acquisition. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and delve deeper into this. Now the second news is another interesting one, guys, and this is also from the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And the news, guys, is that BitX in MENA and BitX in custody, they have finally obtained financial services permission from Financial Services Regulatory Authority, and this is from the Abu Dhabi global market. Really bold and pivotal move. So in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and delve into all of these news. So it looks like, guys, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode. But before we go ahead and do that, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look guys, whether you're looking into invest in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the blockchain DXB listeners guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the blockchain DXB listener and community guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part guys, once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code blockchain DXB. And Amana guys is all markets one app. Next guys, I'm happy to announce that blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right guys, palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrencies all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas, and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock guys is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you blockchain DXB listeners guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen guys, the code is DXB25, and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount. And the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025, as well as ETH Women. And look guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life. So don't just read about it, be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com, and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm, And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They are taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they are focusing on 3 Ps, that is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gulf Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, as you're taking care of that, let's quickly run to the global cryptocurrency market. Now, this entire week, Satoshi, the global cryptocurrency market is relatively flat. To date, is at $2.62 trillion. Now, look, the reason for this is pretty simple, Satoshi. In United States of America, there was a holiday, and so far as United Arab Emirates is concerned, we do have a long holiday because of Eid, and because of that, I'm not seeing quite a lot of news as well. But here's the thing, guys, cryptocurrency world should ideally be working 365 days in a year, Sinead. But what I'm really liking since the last 24 hours, the volume of cryptocurrency market has definitely increased. To date is at $98 billion. But unfortunately, Satoshi, the volume of decentralized exchanges isn't looking that great. And since the last 24 hours, the volume of decentralized exchanges is below the $6 billion mark. It is only at $5.35 billion. Now, do you want to take a guess, Satoshi? What is the total fees connected by these transactions worth $5.35 billion? And I'm talking about that in decentralized exchange world, because in a centralized exchange, these accumulated fees would definitely be significantly higher, isn't it?
Well, talking about guesses, George, if we assume an average fee of, say, 0.25%, we could be looking at around $13 to $14 million in total fees for that 5.35 billion volume. But it could be significantly higher or lower depending on context.
It is actually higher, Satoshi. It is at $61.71 million. Now, in a centralized exchange world, what do you think the fees would have been for these transactions worth $5.35 billion?
Given that actual figure of 61.71 million on decentralized exchanges, which implies a higher average fee, centralized exchanges might have seen fees remain in a similar range, or perhaps slightly lower overall due to their fee structures. But it could very well be comparable. It really depends on the specific tier of user and the types of trades being executed.
And that is one of the reasons why people are using centralized exchanges. And am I right in saying, Satoshi, if you use centralized exchanges, you get additional perks and benefits as well, probably additional discounts, which need not necessarily be connected to centralized exchanges or cryptocurrencies for that matter. I'm talking about, let's say, maybe coupons or maybe additional gifts that is connected to, let's say, retail stores.
You're absolutely right, George. Many centralized exchanges offer incentives or perks to attract users. That could include discounted trading fees, bonuses for holding specific tokens, or even partnerships offering things like coupons or gifts for retail stores, completely separate from the crypto market itself. It's part of their strategy to build loyalty.
Now, 100% Satoshi, and unfortunately because of that, if you look at the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, to date is down to 16.98%. Now look, idealistically, Satoshi, this number should be around 60 to 80%. Higher the better, isn't it?
That's an important point, George. With the decentralized exchange dominance down to 16.98%, it does show a strong preference for centralized platforms right now. Ideally, for true decentralization and the principles crypto was founded on, you'd want that number much higher, reflecting more activity on those non-custodial platforms. It highlights a key tension in the industry.
But let's see how the industry revolves. Now, unfortunately, Satoshi, one matrix which is not looking good for the cryptocurrency world, and this is connected to crypto ETF outflows. And since the last 24 hours, the outflows is accounting to $95 million. Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on regarding decentralized exchange? And I'm talking about the matrix of the top 5 platforms. So do you want to tell our listeners what is the 24-hour trading volume of these top 5 platforms?
Looking at the top 5 decentralized platforms, Uniswap is leading with a 24-hour volume of 1.28 billion. Next up is PancakeSwap at 723.03 million, followed by Aerodrome at 613.42 million. Fluid is seeing 240.23 million, and Orca is at 176.93 million. It's worth noting that these volumes are still concentrated primarily in a few platforms.
You're absolutely correct, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys, even if you look at the volume of stable coins, the numbers definitely are not looking that great. According to me, Satoshi, this number should have been almost double of what it is, and Tether USDT's number is only at $80.79 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is $15.43 billion. FDUSD gas is at number 3rd, with a 24-hour volume of $355.43 million. Now look, Satoshi, the volume of stable coins does give an assessment as to which direction the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are heading towards, and you also need to compare this particular matrix with that of crypto ETFs and outflows, isn't it? And unfortunately, guys, since the last 24 hours, we are seeing significant amount of outflows of $95 million, right?
It's true, George. Those stablecoin volumes do provide insight. Tether's at 80.79 billion, while Circle's USDC is at 15.43 billion. When you factor in FDUSD's volume of 355.43 million and compare it to the 95 million in ETF outflows, it highlights a period of caution and capital movement within the market. The relationship between stablecoin activity and investment flows is definitely something to watch.
Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, all of this is only because of Operation Epic Fury, and the moment we get some clarity and certainty, these numbers will drastically change.
That's the prevailing theory, George. Once Operation Big Fury provides some clear guidelines and regulatory certainty, the expectation is that investor confidence could return, significantly boosting stablecoin usage and trading volumes, potentially reversing those ETF outflows as well. It's a significant pivot point for the crypto market.
And what would happen, Satoshi, because of that, the inflation will go down. And next month, Satoshi, there's an FOMC meeting scheduled as well. And Kevin Walsh, who's been nominated by President Donald Trump, will be starting the role of the chair of the Federal Reserve Board. And let's see if they do actually decide to go ahead and reduce the interest rate. So definitely interesting times ahead. Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and do the same thing for Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please?
Certainly, George. That's a plausible scenario. Lower inflation and potential interest rate reductions would definitely be beneficial for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, running through those metrics, Bitcoin's market cap is currently $1.51 billion, with a 24-hour volume of $35.65 billion, giving it a dominance of 58%. For Ethereum, the market cap is $249.68 billion, 24-hour volume is $15.87 billion, and dominance is 9.54%. Lastly, for Binance Coin, the market cap is $88.32 billion, with a trading volume of $1.61 billion over the last day.
Now, Satoshi, in every Blockchain DXB podcast, we tend to look at one new matrix. Today, what I want you to do is, I want you to run through information that is connected to meme coins. Because look, whenever the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies either pumps up or goes down, meme coins are the one that gets impacted the most. So why don't you tell our listeners what is going on in the meme coin world? And I was also seeing a post by Logan Paul Satoshi. One of the NFTs that he bought for, I believe, a couple of $100,000 right now is less than $100, isn't it? Can you just double check the cost for that? What did he actually pay for that particular NFT? And what is the price of it right now?
I can do that, George. The meme market cap overall is at $34.1 billion, with a slight dip in the last 24 hours. Within that, Dogecoin is dominant with a $15.54 billion market cap, followed by Memecore at $3.82 billion, Shiba Inu at $3.24 billion, Pepe at $1.47 billion, and Pump.Fun at $633 million. Now, regarding Logan Paul's NFT, he reportedly purchased the Bumblebee Crypto King from the Azuki collection for $623,000 in 2021. Recent valuations place its worth significantly lower, sometimes noted as under 100, though that can depend on the specific marketplace and current demand. The NFT market has seen substantial shifts.
100% correct, Satoshi. And regarding tokenization, I do think it might be heading towards a certain direction as well. Hopefully, it does not have the same fate as NFTs. Now, why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners what is going on regarding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance BNB Coin? Tell our listeners what the price of Bitcoin is, what is going on since the last 24 hours and 7 days. As a matter of fact, do the same thing for Ethereum as well as Binance BNB Coin for our listeners, please.
Certainly, George. It's understandable to think tokenization might have a different path than NFTs. Now, for the prices, Bitcoin is currently $75,542, down 0.58% in the last day and down 1.24% over the last week. Ethereum's price is at $2,071, declining 1.19% in 24 hours and down 3.08% in 7 days. Finally, Binance's BNB coin is at $651, with a slight dip of 0.44% since yesterday, but up 0.92% over the last week.
Well, thank you so much for that, Satoshi. And I believe Monday was an holiday in the United States of America, isn't it? Now, for our listeners, what advice you'd like to give them? What are the key metrics they should be looking at over the next 24 to 48 hours? Because look, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have definitely fallen down. And if this trajectory continues, Satoshi, I wouldn't be surprised if the price of Bitcoin is almost half of its all-time high. Because in October of 2025, the price of Bitcoin did actually reach $126,000, isn't it? So what advice you'd like to give to our listeners? What are the key metrics they should be looking at? And I'm talking about this only for the next 24 to 48 hours.
With the recent price downward trend and following the holiday, the next 24 to 48 hours are crucial. The key metrics to watch are the Bitcoin dominance level, as that can signal market sentiment, along with the volume trends on major exchanges. Also, keep an eye on movement in the meme coin market and any development around stablecoin volumes, as that indicates liquidity. And, of course, any news regarding the broader economic factors or regulatory updates could have an immediate impact. It's key to remain vigilant.
You're absolutely correct, Satoshi. And in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll definitely go ahead and update our listeners. Now, unfortunately, guys, if you look at the Fear and Greed Index, right now it is at fear and the number associated is 37. But we do have some positive development in the world of Operation Epic Fury. Now, President Donald Trump, guys, he definitely wants to go ahead and make America great again. And along with that, Satoshi, am I right in saying he also wants to go ahead and make prediction market great again? And what happened, Satoshi, last night? President Donald Trump, via Truth Social, did actually say it is very important for the US Commodity Future Trading Commission to keep control over prediction market and help the industry grow. And in that post, he also mentioned that the US should create strong national rules instead of leaving regulations to state politicians, whom he severely criticized, particularly Tim Walz. Now look, regulations are definitely great, Satoshi, as long as they protect investors, users, and have an equal playing field. But when you talk about politicians, particularly from the Democrats, they have been massive detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, isn't it? And I'm pretty much sure because of that, he mentioned Tim Walz in that particular post. Now regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, Satoshi, Trump also said, that the United States of America must stay the global leader in crypto and Bitcoin because other countries are trying to take that position. And in that post, Satoshi also praised CFTC chairman, that is Mike Selig, and this is for his work in supporting these industries. Now, to our listeners, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners, when you talk about regulations, what role does CFTC have in play, keeping in mind Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and what role does the US Security and Exchange Commission play in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
That's certainly plausible, George. President Trump's comments on Truth Social show a desire for strong national rules over random state policies, and he was quite critical of leaders like Tim Walz. Now, regulations definitely have their place, protecting investors and ensuring fairness, but there's been clear conflict with some Democratic politicians on crypto. As for Trump's push for the U.S. to lead in crypto and Bitcoin, he sees competition from other countries. You asked about the CFTC and SEC roles. George, the CFTC generally handles commodities, focusing on futures and derivatives, while the SEC oversees securities, like stocks and some digital assets, focusing on disclosure and protecting investors. Their jurisdictions often overlap when it comes to crypto.
Now, one of the drama that we had under CFTC and SEC when Gary Gensler was in charge, and a lot of people from the centralized exchange world, Satoshi, they were often saying that Gary Gensler is overstepping his role, and he was doing a lot of things that the CFTC would be doing, and that is precisely the reason why President Donald Trump put out this post, isn't it? Now, at a macro level, Satoshi, what does it actually mean when the President of the United States of America puts out this statement? How do you think it impacts Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? And I'm not just talking about prices, I'm talking about the confidence it puts in your technologies.
Gary Gensler's perceived overreach from the SEC into CFTC territory, George, is a key point in Trump's argument for clarity. On a macro level, when a current or former president makes such a statement, it brings massive public attention and political pressure to the topic. It suggests that crypto is becoming a mainstream issue that leaders take seriously. This can boost confidence among potential investors and institutions who see it as a validation.
That is absolutely correct, Satoshi. And now we have trillion-dollar companies such as BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity Investment, who are massive advocates of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss the next news. And this is connected to Coinbase's Ethereum Layer 2 network, that is Base. And the news, guys, is that they have launched Base MCP. And it is essentially a new tool to connect crypto wallets to AI platforms like ChatGPT, Cloud, as well as Cursor. Now, this particular tool lets users send crypto, swap tokens, and check balances. And more importantly, you can also use DeFi apps to simple chat commands instead of complicated crypto interfaces. And Base's MCP, Satoshi, already supports major DeFi platforms including Uniswap, Morpho, as well as Moonwell. And Coinbase, regarding the move, has actually said AI-powered chatbot interfaces could become a major way people use and discover crypto apps in the near future. Now, look, Satoshi, it is needless to say, this particular move is absolutely great. Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, this particular move will be more advantageous to people who are already using artificial intelligence? Or do you think this particular move could also help people who are not using artificial intelligence yet to start using this particular platform? Because I'm hoping that this particular AI focuses more on customer experience and makes things simpler and easier for users.
That's right, George. Base's MPC tool makes it simpler to manage crypto wallets through chat commands instead of complicated interfaces. Coinbase believes this could make discovering crypto apps much easier. To your question, I think it'll help both groups. People already using AI will find a more intuitive way to interact with crypto, and newcomers might find the chat-based approach less intimidating, especially since the focus is on simpler user experience. It really could broaden the user base.
What about this particular move by decentralized exchanges, Satoshi? How much of an impact do you think, let's say, if decentralized exchanges implement artificial intelligence? I'm pretty much sure a lot of decentralized exchanges already do that, isn't it? So why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners, are there any decentralized exchanges that are already doing that? And if not, what advice you'd like to give to decentralized exchanges? How do they go about implementing artificial intelligence in ensuring that it actually helps in user experience?
You're right, George. Some decentralized exchanges are already using AI for things like optimizing trading strategies or enhanced security. For those that haven't yet, my advice would be to focus on practical applications like improving customer support through chatbots, providing personalized insights based on transaction history, or strengthening fraud detection. The key is gathering feedback from users to ensure those AI features actually improve their experience, making it more seamless and less confusing, rather than just adding complexity. Starting small and iterating can be effective.
Solid advice, Satoshi. Really appreciate that. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and talk about United Kingdom. And the news is that the United Kingdom has sanctioned 18 crypto-related entities and individuals. And this includes a cryptocurrency exchange called as HDX, formerly known as Huobi. And along with that, Satoshi, a ruble stablecoin issue has also been sanctioned. And this is for allegedly helping Russia evade sanctions and support its war in Ukraine. Now look, Satoshi, Britain has also introduced banking-style sanctions on crypto firms for the very first time. And it requires UK financial companies to freeze funds and trace blockchain transactions linked to sanctioned entities. And here's the thing, Satoshi, blockchain analytical firm that is Elliptic, they actually said that HDX may have provided services to A7 payment networks and also sanctioned Russian exchanges, that is Garantax. Now based on the official news that is published by gov.co.uk, Satoshi, the UK is claiming that Kremlin-backed A7 network moved more than $90 billion last year payment to support Russian oil sales and also military procurement. Now, in order to find out the list of Russian sanction designations, what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go to gov.co.uk. Now, rather than saying, Satoshi, a lot of miners, they definitely need to be on board with this because a lot of the public addresses, they would have already been sanctioned, isn't it?
That is an interesting question, George. Many miners have already been provided with public lists of sanctioned addresses and are responsible for ensuring their operations comply with these regulations. The recent measures by the UK to impose banking-style sanctions on crypto firms further emphasize this requirement and place a clear obligation on them to freeze funds and trace transactions linked to sanctioned entities. This highlights the increasing focus on compliance within the digital asset sector.
Absolutely correct, Satoshi, and I'm pretty much sure a lot of the miners, they're already aware of all the particular rules in it. Definitely interesting news. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go and talk about another news. And this is connected to TeraWolf. Now before we go and delve into this particular news, Satoshi, do you want to very briefly tell our listeners what is TeraWolf and why have they made the decision to go and acquire a data center?
Regarding TeraWolf, George, they're a Bitcoin mining company focused on high-performance computing and AI infrastructure. Many Bitcoin miners are diversifying into this space because the energy demands are similar, and AI provides a steady, higher-margin revenue stream compared to mining, which can be more volatile. This acquisition of the Muskie Data Campus in Kentucky gives them a path to expand their capacity significantly for big AI projects. The deal reflects the growing demand for power-intensive facilities to support the growth of AI.
That is absolutely correct, Satoshi, and because the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have fallen down, it does become extremely difficult to remain in the Bitcoin mining industry. And right now when you talk about AI data centers, that's where there's a lot of dollars and money, isn't it? And look, as historically I've always said this, every time there is a halving that happens, it is the Bitcoin mining industry that suffers the most. And based on my understanding, Satoshi, a lot of the Bitcoin miners, they do eventually go completely belly up. But in this case, they have decided to pivot to artificial intelligence. Definitely an interesting and great news. Now, the only thing I wanted to add regarding this news, Satoshi, is TeraWolf acquired Muskie Data Campus in Kentucky, which is essentially a hyperscale site that could actually support over 1 gigawatts of AI and high-performance computing capacity. And the project will roll out in phases, starting with 500 megawatts from 2028. And this particular initiative, Satoshi, is backed by major transmission infrastructure that is required for large-scale AI workloads. So this deal, Satoshi, according to me, does reflect rising demand for power-heavy data center to support AI growth. Definitely interesting news. And according to me, Satoshi, we will definitely be seeing more similar news in the coming future. So these were some macro-level newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency world. Now let's do one thing. Let's go ahead and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, Satoshi, is that Abu Dhabi has developed cryptographic AI and they've decided to go global after US acquisition. And this technology, Satoshi, was created by Abu Dhabi Biotechnology Innovative Institute, and it essentially allows companies to use AI and high-sensitive data without exposing the information. And so far as the system is concerned, it also protects privacy data like healthcare records, financial transactions and classified intelligence, and hospitals and healthcare guys can safely use AI on patient data. And so far as banks and financial firms are concerned, they can also run AI models and secure financial information. And more importantly, governments and intelligence agencies, they can also use the technology securely. Now AI guys can train, fine-tune and run influence while keeping data confidential. And here's the important thing to remember, Satoshi. Unlike many AI security tools, this technology was built from real-world deployment and not just lab testing. And San Francisco-based OPEC acquired the technology on May 4th, and so far as OPEC is concerned, it is absolutely no surprise that they recently raised $24 million in Series B funding, and this was at a $300 million evaluation. Now look Satoshi, this is the first time a UAE developed cryptographic AI has been acquired and developed globally to a US tech company, and Dr. Najwa Araj did actually say that the goal was to help AI work with sensitive data securely and build trust, and so far Zopek is concerned, they were chosen because it already has enterprise customers and infrastructure for global deployment. In OPEC's land, Satoshi already includes ServiceNow, Anthropic and Accenture, so this acquisition strengthens the UAE's position as a global contributor to AI infrastructure and secure AI systems, and so far as the technology is concerned, Satoshi, it also includes post-quantum cryptography protection to defend against future quantum computing threats, and the acquisition was overseen by Faisal al-Banai, and this shows growing international recognition in UAE developing AI technology. Definitely a proud moment for the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, isn't it? Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and discuss the second news, and this according to me, Satoshi, is another interesting news, and this is also from the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Now why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners more information regarding this news, please?
Surely, George, I can do that. GITEX and MENA and GITEX in Custody obtained financial services permissions from the FSRA of ADGM. This means GITEX and Group received major financial approvals in Abu Dhabi. ADGM approved licenses for both entities. GITEX and MENA received permission to operate a virtual asset trading platform, and GITEX in Custody received permission to provide secure custody services for digital assets. The licenses also include support for fiat reference tokens. These approvals are a big step in GITEX and Group's global expansion plans, and they've selected Abu Dhabi as their operational headquarters for regulated businesses. The company said the UAE is a global leader in digital asset regulation and innovation. The approvals allow GITEX to offer secure and regulated crypto services across the MENA region.
And look, so far as Abu Dhabi regulatory framework is concerned, it was actually introduced in 2018, and right now Abu Dhabi has become one of the world's leading hub for regulated digital assets, and so far as GITEX is concerned, they plan to build institutional-grade infrastructure for digital finance in the United Arab Emirates. Now look, as the company already has experience operating large-scale crypto and financial technology platforms, and so far as GITEX is concerned, they also want to support tokenized real-world assets and blockchain technology-based financial products. And regarding GITEX Group, guys, they were founded in 2018, and now they serve nearly 5 million users globally, and the companies operate across multiple countries including the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, South Africa and Lithuania, and Kemal Senderdem called the approvals a major milestone for the company, and he thanked Abu Dhabi global market for supporting innovation while keeping high regulatory standards. Definitely brilliant news. Now look, Satoshi, based on my honest experience, the United Arab Emirates along with Saudi Arabia, they're definitely taking leaps and bounds in the world of cryptocurrencies and even in the world of artificial intelligence. So definitely brilliant news, isn't it? So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency world. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, where listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, alright?
Surely, George. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. I'm curious to check what questions listeners have in store for us.
Sure, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off.
Hey everyone, it is Satoshi from the Blockchain DXB podcast, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And we have a question from Kai, who asks, could stricter sanctions on crypto firms push more activity toward decentralized platforms?
Now this is such a tricky question, Satoshi, because look, in an idealistic world and in theory, this particular initiative by having stricter sanctions on crypto firms should technically move a lot of adoption in the so-called decentralized exchange platform, but in reality that thing does not happen. Whenever a country puts a lot of regulations on cryptocurrency exchanges, unfortunately that is the time the volume of decentralized exchange also falls down. The only people using decentralized exchange at that point of time, Satoshi, are other centralized exchange platforms who actually want to go and evade a lot of regulations. But when you talk about users, I don't think so that'll actually boost a lot of decentralized exchange volume. As a matter of fact, Satoshi, I could also say, if there are stricter sanctions on crypto firms, there is a very high possibility they'll be worried that governments will go after them if they use decentralized exchange as well. And I'm talking about this more from a mental and philosophical point of view. Now, according to me, Satoshi, am I right in saying, in order for the volume of decentralized exchange to increase, there needs to be clear regulations for centralized exchange world as well. Because as a user, then I'd feel confident that maybe the government supports cryptocurrencies, so why don't I go ahead and give decentralized exchange a try? And as a user, Satoshi, I get this feeling, if government takes that approach, from a user, I feel that maybe using decentralized exchanges isn't illegal or bad as such. That is what my take is, Satoshi.
That's a really compelling perspective, George. You're right that theory doesn't always translate directly to reality. The fear of being targeted by regulators if you use decentralized exchanges could definitely deter users, even if the sanctions are actually aimed at centralized firms. Your point about needing clear rules for centralized entities to build confidence first is also very valid. So, do you think the current wave of penalties will ultimately lead to slower adoption overall, or just push people to be more secretive?
That is exactly what we are seeing, unfortunately, right now, isn't it? And even if you look at the volume of decentralized exchange, since the last 6 months, the numbers have been absolutely dreadful. Now look, since the wars actually began, Satoshi, and I'm talking about war between Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Palestine, as well as Operation Epic Fury, the volume in decentralized exchange hasn't increased, which means a lot of people are still apprehensive regarding using decentralized exchange. And according to me, Satoshi, the answer to this is pretty simple. The user experience at decentralized exchange is absolutely pathetic, and as we discussed earlier, there is no incentive to use decentralized exchange, because when you talk about centralized exchanges, they often offer discounts. In certain cases, they also give out vouchers, which is not directly connected to cryptocurrencies. I'm talking about discounts and offers that is in the retail world. Now look, unfortunately, decentralized exchanges cannot do that, and to add on top of it, the user experience is pathetic as well. And we've talked about this in the past as well, Satoshi. I'd really like to see some banks going ahead and making some partnership with the decentralized exchange world, but there are a lot of red flags to that as well. They need to be worried about KYC, they would be worried about terrorism financing, and then we have the whole AML drama as well, isn't it? That is what my honest take is regarding it.
That's a comprehensive analysis, George. You've clearly pinpointed the main hurdles, the subpar user experience and the lack of incentives compared to centralized platforms, plus the very real concerns for banks about things like KYC, terrorism financing, and AML. It seems like until those fundamental issues are resolved, the volume on decentralized exchanges might stay low. Is there any specific development you think could potentially change that dynamic?
I think regulatory clarity can definitely help, but the core area, Satoshi, according to me, is improving customer service. The moment customer service is in par with that of centralized exchange, I think only then decentralized exchanges could be a competitor to centralized exchanges. And you also need to remember, Satoshi, when we read out the volume of decentralized exchange, it is also important to note that majority of the volume is actually done by centralized exchanges as well.
Improving customer service through AI could be a game changer for decentralized exchanges. You've highlighted a critical factor. If they can match the responsiveness of their centralized counterparts, that could remove one of the major barriers to entry for users, even with the regulatory considerations in mind. And of course, it's vital to remember that centralized exchanges still dominate the volume, which is a fundamental trait of the current market landscape.
It's going to be really interesting to see, Satoshi, how the industry revolves around this, but definitely interesting question, Kai. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything Series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we are Blockchain DXB podcast. We look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, and for our listeners, definitely keep an eye on what is going on regarding Operation Epic Fury and President Donald Trump, guys. He definitely wants to go ahead and make Middle East great again. Now in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll definitely go ahead and update our listeners. Now in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, we talk about macro level news, we discuss different partnerships, we talk about interesting drama and exploits, and then we look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development. Artificial intelligence, guys, is definitely a hot topic in the Middle East, and what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice and bye-bye.